Everybody, good evening and happy Thursday. I hope you're all having a good week so far. Today I'm joined by Miss Lanette Vaughn. She is one of our interns here at Chicago Area Project. So she started with us. She is a second year working with us, just doing things with us in the community. But before we get into our interview with Miss Lanette Vaughn, we're going to play a little video because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're going to play that video and then we're going to get into the interview.
Intimate partner violence is defined as physical violence, sexual violence, stalking, and psychological aggression by a current or former intimate partner, and is preventable.
Intimate partner violence threatens the well-being of millions of people and their families every single day. Intimate partners may include current or former spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, dating partners, or sexual partners.
Intimate partner violence can occur between heterosexual or same-sex couples. Some victims may suffer just one experience, while others endure violence that lasts for years.
1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men have experienced intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And 1 in 10 high school students have experienced physical teen dating violence, which is a form of intimate partner violence.
Intimate partner violence consequences are widespread.
It impacts physical and mental health. It results in billions of dollars in medical, mental health, and lost work productivity costs.
But the good news is that intimate partner violence is preventable. We have strategies that can help you prevent this problem in your community. We can prevent intimate partner violence by teaching safe and healthy relationship skills, engaging influential adults, working to prevent violence starting in early childhood, creating protective environments, strengthening economic support for families, and supporting survivors to increase safety and lessen harms.
So that informational video I hope provides a little bit more awareness to the situations and just some more knowledge that you all can learn from domestic violence and intimate partner violence as well. So welcome, Lanette, and thank you so much for taking the time to join.
Of course.
Yes, so we will get right into the interview without further ado. Starting off with, where do you go to school and what are you majoring in?
So I go to Chicago State University on 95th and King Drive in Chicago. I am studying a master's in social work.
Great. And what year are you graduating?
I graduated in 25.
25, oh
yes.
My God. It's coming up. It's coming up.
It
the time is really flying. Okay, but tell us a little bit about how or why you chose to go into social work.
I chose to go into social work because I wanted to be a child therapist. So, like, in Illinois, you have to have an MSW to do such things as that, like that. So, yeah, I went into social work because I want to be a child therapist.
Nice.
And I've always wanted to be a child therapist ever since I was a little girl.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anyone, like people in your lives, too, that were in, like, the social work realm, too, or is it just something that?
I did. So, I was in foster care, and, like, when I was, like, 6 or 7 years old, I used to watch the professionals around me. I used to watch what they did for work. Like, it was so weird. I watched their paperwork. I knew which documents meant what. It was the weirdest thing. And I had a child therapist, of course, named Maria. I'll never forget her. And yeah, she just really stamped my passion for that. She was such a great therapist. So.
Okay, so just inspiration from the people around you and the people that helped you made you
absolutely
wanna,
yeah.
That's so inspiring to hear. I like that. But so what are your goals, I guess, then? You kind of mentioned being a child therapist. Is there specific age ranges or specific demographics or groups of foster care children specifically, or just any kind child?
Any child.
Okay.
Any child. But I really want to do therapy in the inner city because they need it the most, those individuals. So, but yeah, any child. I just love kids. I worked in a children's psych ward, which made me want to become a therapist even more. So, yeah, it just really gave me the fire to go and pursue this degree.
Yeah. And what kind of things did you see in the child psych ward? If you want to talk a little bit about
The a lot of unethical things. So as a mental health specialist there, I didn't really have much of a say so when it came to like therapy. I really just had to like overlook them on my shift, make sure that nothing dangerous happened. You know, I ran groups, of course, but like I wasn't their social worker. So it was like many boundaries in that profession that I could not overstep. Like I couldn't like sit and talk to my kid. Or, you know, so, but yeah, it was a lot of things that went on at the psych ward that I did not agree with. So I left. Yeah.
And what kind of like age groups was that? Like the kids that you worked with there?
So I did peds, which is short for pediatrics. It started at from 3 to 11. And then I also worked with teenage girls, which started from 13 to 17.
Wow.
I did work with teenage boys for a little bit, but I didn't like that population. Yeah.
Was not a fan.
No. I'm like, no, I don't want to be around teenage boys so much.
Okay.
Just a personal preference.
Yeah. Of course. Everyone has their personal preferences, I think, in terms of their career and what they want to focus on and people they want to work with. But that's so interesting. That's crazy. So I'm sure you must have a lot of stories from that too. But like you said, you ran groups there. Like what kind of groups? What did you guys talk about?
I did. We talked about so much. My favorite group was self-esteem, knowing your worth. I think that's very important in teenage girls for sure. To know their worth, because a lot of them who are in violent situations, they really don't know what to do because they truly don't know who they are. So I really try to like instill self-esteem in young girls.
That's really powerful too, because I feel like working with girls in that environment too, who are maybe struggling with mental illness, it's like a little bit harder for them too to get a grasp of that, of like sense of self and like who they are and what they're worth. So I think that's really awesome that you really, you worked with those kinds of groups. And how long were you there for, if you don't know?
I wasn't there for long. I was probably in psych for like almost 2 years, but on an emotional standpoint, like I just couldn't do it anymore. It takes a toll. I was really there for the girls, the teenage girls, because when I was a teenager, I needed that. I had no sense of self-worth. I didn't know I was worth anything. But and it took me a while, and now it's like I'm so full of confidence. But
that's awesome. That's so inspiring to hear that. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, well, I guess going into the social work realm and school, what is like a topic that you found most interesting since the start of your social work journey? Like any classes maybe that just really sparked an interest to you, topics or issues?
Not really, but if I had to choose one, it'll be policy. Our program, I mean, it's only my second year, so it's still a little new, but we don't really go over topics or so I did have to study policy, and policy opened up my eyes to a lot of like things that's going on in the world as far as social services and public welfare. So public welfare stands out to me like insanely. It's because public welfare is oh my God, insane.
I feel like honestly more power to social work students who are interested in policy, because I really my policy classes were not my favorite, I will say, but they are really important because that really sets the standards and like the base for programs that we essentially need in our communities. But oh my gosh, that's crazy. So did you ever take any policy classes?
I finished policy. I took my last policy was this summer. I think I'm finished. We only have to take policy 1 and 2, and I finished both, but don't quote me. I have to look, but I really think I'm finished. And I really enjoy policy. The professor is Amzie Moore. He worked at Chicago State for quite some time. He's the most awesome professor ever. So he made policy a little easy to learn.
That's so good. When you have those types of professors that really like just make if they're passionate about what they're doing, you already know that that's going to be a good class regardless. Okay, well that's good to know. Honestly, more power to you for policy, man, because policy is tough. It really is. Okay, well, I guess looking more into your current profession, tell us about like what you're doing now, what you're working in, your position, and what you hope to do there, I guess.
Ironically, I work in employment specializing, job development in Chicago. I worked since I was 16 years old, since I could.
Okay.
And I had so many jobs under the sun, like you wouldn't even imagine where I've worked. But it's just crazy that now I'm working in job development, just teaching individuals how to get a job, individuals from many different populations, how to get a job, how to maintain a job. Because being self-sufficient is so important. And I'm also so independent because I had to work so young and I had no one to support me financially, really. So, yeah, I'm working in employment training, and I really enjoy it. I work for Envisions Unlimited, and we work in temporary and permanent housing for victims of mental disorders, substance abuse disorders, things of that nature. So.
Okay, that's nice. So,
Yeah.
With your employment program that you guys have there, is it like working with only adults, youth? Is it?
Only adults have to be 18 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And so what you would do there is just kind of guiding them essentially, like how?
Yeah. What's different about this company from others that I've worked for, we don't have to do job readiness programs, like as far as like resume building. Because we believe that they'll learn once they're hired. Like you could always teach someone something, but until it's like hands-on and in their face, they'll learn. So we don't require them to just have perfect interviewing skills and, you know, of course we teach them the basics, but we let them like go to the job and get a feel for themselves.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's really how you get the experience, is just like being in the field, right? And I feel like what I've been seeing or hearing from like a lot of jobs, they already want you to have experience, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, how do you expect people to have experience when
if they never did it?
Right, if you can't even let them in when they haven't done it. Okay. But well, what else does Envision do there? Do they have other programs?
Yeah, they have many programs, mental health services, like I said, temporary and permanent housing. A lot falls under Envisions Unlimited. That's why it's called Unlimited. It's just not a separate thing, but I just work as the employment trainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how big, like, where do they have multiple locations? Is it just?
Yes, Envisions is like all around Chicago. They're also in the suburbs. They're like everywhere. If you think of even Catholic Charities, Metropolitan Family Service, like it's like such a wide range of offices. So yeah,
that's
Envisions is everywhere.
Okay, yeah, because it really does sound like they have a lot of good services, and I do know like Metropolitan Family Services, like they have so many locations around too. So that's really nice. Okay. And before then, what were you doing before working at Envisions? Was that the psych ward, or was there something in between?
No. So before Envisions, that's when I started my career as an employment specialist. So I was actually at Haymarket Center, which is the biggest rehab center in Chicago. It's in West Loop. And I was working there as their employment specialist, but I worked through grants with Department of Human Services. So because Illinois is depleting funds from the SNAP benefits program, it was my job to give individuals a job. I'll track them for 90 days, and then their SNAP benefits will eventually expire because now they're self-sufficient. They could buy groceries without, help.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And there I actually ran employment training services, computer classes. I had a lead with the YWCA to teach Excel, Word, Microsoft Office Suite, Spanish classes. So yeah, it was really nice.
Dang, that's a lot of variety there.
It was. I wore like 10 hats at that place, but it was so fun.
Okay.
It was so fun.
Did you did you ever feel that like burnout type of feeling?
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, because it's a lot of different stuff they're having you do.
Yeah, some days I just screamed, but not because I hated my job, but because I was just so tired. But every day I went to work, I did not hate my job. Like I was so excited to go every single day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the dream, honestly, that you want for a job.
Yeah.
It's like, even if it's overwhelming at the time, just knowing that you're still passionate about it regardless, like having that like want, like oh, I can't wait to go to work. Like I love that. I love that for you so much. So what made you kind of want to change into something? Was it just
honestly, I would have, I'm so like honest, if I mean, I'm human, right? Let's be realistic. If I made more at Haymarket, I would have stayed. We made bare minimum because we were a non-for-profit. We got all of our money through donations and grants.
I see.
And we worked through a grant with DHS. So yeah, it just wasn't enough money. I was making $18 an hour, and wearing 10 hats.
Yeah.
So I needed like some type of balance. Yeah.
Yes, and to like you were saying earlier, that sense of like self-worth. You know that you are worth more than that. So.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I gave you guys my time, but now I'm like burnt out financially too.
Yes. So that is something. Like you said, we're all human. We need to pay the bills. Like that's
where am I gonna live? I can't live in my office.
Right.
So,
yeah. Okay. Well, that's understandable. And it's like, it really is about the passion, but also about being able to, for us to sustain ourselves, right? Because if we're not taking care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of?
How am I going to do the job well?
Yeah. So, well, I'm happy for you. And I'm glad you found something that's a little better fit, you know?
Thank you.
That's really nice. But, okay. Well, I know you just started, this job at Envision recently, right? But what was one of, I guess, thinking about your previous job, what was the one thing I guess you'd say you loved the most about that job?
What did I love the most? I love so much about that job. But what I love the most is like when my clients would tell me I changed their lives and I turned their lives around, and they praised me so much, which I didn't need to be praised, but just hearing thank you was like, that's what kept me there. Because it's my passion to help people, and if I know that I helped you 100% and you're so grateful, that makes me want to just stay. So that's really what kept me. I was there a little longer than I was supposed to be due to finances, but I just stayed because I just didn't want to leave my clients.
Okay. So it's just, it really is like, that's, I mean, I feel like a lot of social workers can probably relate to that too. It's just like the feeling of the gratitude that a lot of the clients and participants have for you, and they know that you are so important to them in their lives, just like feeling that. So I think that that's really important. But that's nice to hear. But okay, moving a little bit into being a student, going to school. So as a student and an aspiring social worker, what is one thing you want to learn more about or hope to learn more about at your school? Or in general?
We actually had role plays in class the other day, and I did well, right? But my partner, he works for a prison. So he pretended to be, a guy that was recently incarcerated for many years, and he became depressed due to like traumatic situations that would happen in prison. And I wasn't familiar with working with that type of population. So I'm saying that to say I want to like tap into different types of populations, not just employment training, not just working with children. I want to like tap into like even like marriage counseling. I would love, just like different things like that. So I want to learn just more from my school as far as like working with different people. Like how does that look? And my classmates, they were telling me like what to do when these things happen with someone like this from a different population, like being incarcerated. So
Okay. Yeah.
So just working more with different people.
Learning that range and those. I really do like those case examples that they have in school, because you really do get to learn like these are very different situations with very different clients. Really depends like where you go and what you want to do, but I think it is important to learn about the different like the theories and approaches that they have, because I feel like some theories really do apply to a wide range of people too. So it's like really nice when they kind of talk and go more into, that's something that I wish that they talked more about in my schools, like the different theories and the different practices. Right. Like what is it, like DBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, the other one DBT, do you remember what the D stands for in DBT? It's like something about dialect or something else, but they went into like just because I feel like those really apply with people with anxiety and like addictions, and that's something that I is like a really those were just super interesting. But yeah, so that's really interesting, kind of like the different cases that you get over there, and it really kind of opens you up to a lot of different cases and real life experiences too. Okay, well, I guess going into our last question, what advice would you give to any incoming MSW students? So thinking more about how they can juggle school, work, home life. It's a lot to balance. So what kind of things have you learned along the way, advice that you would give to other people?
For me, I understand that, especially I'm trying to balance out my personal life and facing tragedies as I have recently, and also knowing that life doesn't stop. I have to work, I have to go to school. So just to keep pushing. If you're overwhelmed, just know that things will get better. I love to say it's always sunshine after rain. So just pushing through and staying motivated, because what motivates me is just daydreaming about my graduation.
Yes.
So just thinking that way, because it's easy to break down. Let's do the hard part, which is not breaking down.
Right.
So,
and also like taking care of yourself. Like, it is important to push through, but then also taking that time to make sure you're good, because if you keep pushing through and just don't take the time to like take a little break, even if it is for a little bit, a short a day or two, just to like reflect and take the time to self-care. Do you do anything to self-care?
I love hanging with my loved ones, my friends, my family. They make me so happy. I have such a great support system. So that's what makes me happy. But I'm really just a simple girl. A self-care day for me is staying home, not answering my phone.
There you go.
Binge watching Netflix, eating food.
There you go. It's different for everybody. And I feel like I can agree with that too. It's just nice when you feel like you don't have any obligations, anything you have to really do or get ready for. You can just stay in your comfortable clothes, pajamas, whatever it is, and just order in, not even trying to cook or do anything like that.
That's the best. And I'm so introverted. I'm like, I can't wait to be alone in four walls.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure like after work you have to take that big deep breath.
I do.
Okay. I feel like I relate to you on that too. So many back-to-back conversations with people. You're like, and it's not even that sigh of like finally like I'm done talking. It's just like I'm tired.
I'm tired. Enough socializing for today.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think we're getting close to the end, but thank you so much, Lanette, for taking the time to meet with us and talk a little bit more about you, what's going on with you, and your aspirations for social work. And in the future, you guys might see Lanette in the probably having her own show at some point later on in the semester or in the coming year. 2024 is literally already right around the corner, which is crazy. So she might be hosting a couple of things. Today we did briefly talk about domestic violence awareness because that is the month of October. But in our next coming session, we will be talking about mental health, and I will have another intern with us, Jaslyn. She had made a couple of mental health, mental well-being flyers that we'll be sharing with you all during that show. And so we're just going to be going over a couple of things before we finish today. Some housekeeping. This coming Saturday, I did not provide a flyer, but that is okay because we'll just let you all know. And I will be sending emails out to people, so hopefully if you're connected with us already or if you're on our Facebook or Instagram, we will be sharing our flyer for our youth talk this coming Saturday. It is going to be on youth and trauma, so if you're free, 1 p.m. over Zoom, we will be sharing that information with you. But that is all we have for today. There's nothing else. So I just want to say thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. And thank you again to Lanette for joining us. It was really nice to learn more about you.
No problem.
Well, I hope you all have a good rest of your Thursday, and we will see you all next week. Thank you.
See you.